Reality and Chill with Kenny.
And Nishi, all right. Today we are going to talk about the latest episode of The Valley.
Ooh.
We're we're getting through it. What do we how did it all start off? So, Janet. Janet
It
talking
was,
about the ring. The ring is back.
it's
She's trying to squash the ring.
yawn.
She's really annoyed that, her husband is on the hot seat.
The fact that they've gone the lawyer route, like when he's like, it's my name. And it, like, oh, right, but calling Danny a drug and alcoholic, like the season before, you know what? Again, that hypocrisy. I know it's my favorite word, but yeah, Jasset had a party at their house. Sheena was there, and all of that. And yeah, they had to discuss the ring and just the fact. I love that Kristen threw it out there because yeah, it's really got to them, and it's if they just let it go and laughed about it, this wouldn't even be a thing. You know what I mean? Like they've created such a nonsense story out of nothing, which is actually
I
what Jasset does well, you know.
She does. Oh, yeah, Jasset does well. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. Well, when her first reaction supposedly was that, we laughed it off. And then she said, when I spoke to my mum was visibly upset. And then she's kind of, that apparently has sent him into a tailspin. But I mean, I just think it's just like, God forbid somebody talks about Jasset, God forbid they're in the firing line. And now she is just right up Jason's
It's
ass.
It's really great to see one how triggered it got them because now we know, oh, this works. We should do more. Like collectively, the cast should do more to them because they really deserve it. And the fact
Yeah.
that they're so sensitive about it, hilarious. But yeah, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree when it comes to Janet's mum getting involved in the drama. Like they could have just let it go. They'd already let it go, right? And so then to bring it back up, and then obviously Janet's mum which Janet is probably just another puppet of Janet's, right? So she's probably like got a mum involved now, kind of told the story in a certain light where the career of our husband, the father of a child, is now at risk, which is absolute nonsense. But obviously, then the mother gets involved. Then somehow that then allows Janet to have more influence over her husband because now she's got like two generations of Janet's, like I say, the apple and the tree hassling, and now Jason is going to throw one of his long-standing friendships away, which is Jasmine. Can't wait to talk about that. She's done a complete flip around for me. I love Jasmine now. um
Yeah. She's shining. We will get into that.
right,
But I
yeah,
think
but yeah, that's it.
you're so right. You know what I found funny when they were talking about the ring? You know how we say that Jason is possessed by Jasset,
Mm.
obviously. She said something and he literally repeated the words that she was saying. She was just like, not on my watch or something. And he's like, not on my watch or something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he literally is a puppet. He's lost himself. Like, who is Jason? Do we even know who
He's
he is?
possessed. The power of Janet is within him. The power of Janet is within him. Yeah,
Oh my God.
it's not a comfortable thing to watch because his masculinity, like I think strong women need stronger men, and in the case of Jason, like Janet and Jason, it's like he's not going to pull her in at all, and so sometimes that. Like it's good to have the masculine balancing out some of the ridiculousness of the feminine. Like we can all be a bit we all know the positives and
Yeah.
negatives of both sexes, right? But there's no doubt women can be a little bit bratty and narky and all that kind of gossipy stuff, which we love, right?
Yeah.
But you need a strong man to maybe pull that in and just say, look, that, and not get involved either. Like, that's nonsense. Shut it down. Like, Danny's a good example of that, of just like going, this is absolutely, like, but yeah, he instead is becoming a little bitch, like for sure. Like he's becoming like another Janet, like a little woman gossiping and getting involved, and he's bigger than that, and it's tragic. But that's what happens if you marry a Janet.
Well, you're absolutely right. Like you need a guy who can keep the girls accountable. Like I feel like with Kristen and Luke, Luke will be like,
Perfect
okay,
example.
Luke,
Yes.
he calls her out behind the scenes and will be like, okay, well, you didn't need to take it that far. And she'll be like, yeah, well, I was being bratty, and she'll own it. But at least
Yeah.
he will call it out behind the scenes. Jason doesn't even see it at all. And you know what? It's funny that you bring up the mum because I actually didn't think through that much. But I don't know if you realize when they were looking after the kid, she was crying and all that sort of stuff. And she's like, I just need to drop him off to my mum. They went out and came back, and I felt like it was like literally 2 minutes and they dropped him off. So I'm like, does the mum like live next door as well? You know what I mean? I feel like
Yeah,
she would
okay.
have that control in, her family sort of very much being dominant and controlling their whole life, in their
Yeah.
household.
I mean, the fact that she moved there as a fan and now, like, her mother is just around the corner, hilarious. So not only did she move to, like, Hollywood to chase her dreams of being a reality TV star through this, random meeting with Sheena, she's actually brought her mum along for the ride. Like, respect, respect.
Oh gosh, yeah. And then should we talk? I think we need to talk Jasmine next.
Well,
Jas.
okay, yes, because that was
Oh,
the order of things. But I just want to know on Jasset when, and it was towards the end of the episode, so we can circle back to it. But because we're talking about them now already, just the phone call with Jax and how Jason was like, "Oh, right, I just feel then we can just finish these guys off because I can't stand them. Like I
yes, yeah,
really
yeah,
can't.
yeah.
Like the hypocrisy again. I know it's a big buzzword for me, but of Jason going, "Oh, I can just, you're doing so well, mate," and all of that after he knows that Jax has just ripped Brittany off, right? So he already knows that he's just done a full number on Brittany, been watching her over the camera
Come.
in her own home, kind of
Mm.
terrorizing her, and then is like, "Oh, yeah, mate, you're doing really well." And, you got Janet sitting on the side there. Meanwhile, they've been giving Danny and that a hard time, and Jack, who's like the worst person in the world, they're sitting there trying to pump him up and act like he's amazing. I've actually written down when they get off the phone. So then Jason, gets off the phone. Jack's just talking his normal bullshit, like constant lying. That's exactly what he does. Janet, what does she say? That hit. That really hit. It was so, I just couldn't. It's the worst.
Do
Like,
you think
oh,
I think that they were just okay, so it is the worst. I think that, obviously Jax is spewing all of the lines and he's like, all the tears, and this is what he does. He puts on the performance like I'm changed, I'm this, I'm that. And I thought that they like just bought into it a little bit. That's what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, I feel like he's like manipulating them in a way, and they're like, oh, this is a glimpse of hope potentially. That's the way I read it.
I,
What do you
I
think?
feel like, no, I feel like Jason, that they've decided like they're taking on this holier than thou role.
Yeah.
He took him to the, to, what's it called again when you go to those
Rehab.
rehab,
Oh,
took him to
yeah.
rehab. And now it's like they've decided to pitch like with Jax. And I know this is because they want to have like kind of like in Survivor or whatever where you end up like aligning with certain people. And so they've chosen, oh, we're going to be the savior of Jax. Jax can't be saved, number one. He's a complete screw up. But and then we're going to demonize Danny and Nia. You know what I mean? Like that's and so they've just made this choice. So now they're doubling down. That's what it seemed to me. This was a double down, and it just made them look so stupid because here they were supporting Jax, who's done just abhorrent things just in the last couple of weeks whilst being in rehab. Meanwhile, Danny and Nia just raising their kids. Like it's just
Being
amazing.
sweet and innocent. She's
Yeah,
pregnant, Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, freaking Jax, like it makes me cringe just watching him. I mean, look, I can be. I think
Oof.
obviously I try and look for the good in people, and I'm like, hopefully he does change. Obviously, we know he doesn't, but I was just like, oh my goodness, this guy, he's just all talk. He's just all talk. And Jason brought up the whole mortgage thing. He's like, well, what are you going to do about the mortgage? And Jack says, "Oh, you can have the money. She can have the money from the podcast and all of that sort of stuff." But then 2 seconds later, he's doing
This is
the
what I
dirty.
mean. They're enablers. I can't handle the enablers now in this situation because it's not like 1 year, 2 year, 3 years. Like it's a long time now. And you can be kind of stung the first time that Jax does that, right? That would be back, back in the Stacy days. But we
Yep.
are so far beyond that. He's in his late 40s. Like, I just can't handle that enabling anymore. So I love that we want to look out for the good in people. I think that's a beautiful trait. But when it's the same person who talks the same lies, exactly the same pattern, like, come on. And we're going
Yeah,
to
I know.
sit there and enable them. I
No.
just, I have really low tolerance. In fact, I would say zero. I can't stand Jax. And I can't stand people that enable him as well. I want people now to have very firm lines. There's a child involved. Like, I'm over it. So
Yeah.
yeah, it just triggers me, I think, a lot. And to see them particularly, that was worse than Brittany. Brittany's like, she's mentally deranged because she's going through some type of trauma response, right? So with Brittany, you know how annoyed I am with her as well. But with those two, it's darker because they've chosen the guy that's just physically abused his wife, is running circles around her financially, just screwing up on so many levels, and that it's not like they're not like the battered woman like Britney, you know what I mean? That
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's less around why people like that keep on making the same mistakes. They've got no excuse, like
No.
no excuse whatsoever. They're just horrible people.
They just want to, yeah, be the hero. They're trying to, Jason's just trying to swarm in and be the hero at the end and saying, yes, I can turn him around.
Yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah, for sure. That's my rant there. Thanks for letting us go and just finishing off the Jason and Jasset and Janet, side of things. Because, yeah, they are horrible. I mean, Jason, I know he's not truly horrible, but Janet is. There's no doubt about it. And Zach, I love Zach so much. If Zach is anti Janet, there's a good reason. Like, he is the superstar of the Valley. And, like, I'm 100% behind Zach.
Actually, that does take. I think the next scene was when Zach we had that conversation and lunch with Brittany, and he's just feeling like Brittany is just supporting Janet and just leaving Zach to the side. And I actually didn't. I forgot that when Brittany came to LA, and when Zach came to LA, they're actually from the same
The besties.
hometown, and they're
They are
besties,
besties.
long time besties. I forgot that.
Grew up. Went to the same high school. Yeah.
Oh wow,
Well,
really?
okay, I
Okay.
made that up. I don't know if high school.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was though. I'm like 80% sure. Yeah.
You're probably right. So they have a
Mm.
lot of history there. So yeah, I kind of feel like Brittany does need to have a little bit more loyalty to Zach. I like Zach as well. I think he's a straight shooter. He's a little bit messy, but he's funny. He's good comedic value. I think he's hilarious, and he backs the right people from what I can tell. There's a reason him and
I
Kristen don't like
agree.
Janet. Yeah.
I think so completely. And I think what it is, right, is because Janet and Sheena are close friends. Now, Sheena's never had a good gauge on, and we don't judge her for that because that's Sheena, right? But Sheena is just somebody that wants to be as friends with friends with as many people as possible and no true loyalty. We've seen it play out over and over again. So Janet is like the perfect pick, if you know what I mean. Like Janet knows that, and so the two of them are close. Um, and then I think with Brittany, it's more the fact that it's the old crew, right? So it's because of her relationship with Sheena and that Brittany has kind of started aligning more with those guys. And then, which then, because of Janet's friction with Zach, Zach being a truth slayer, Kristen being a truth slayer, it means that she's distanced herself from the truth slayers. Brittany also being a pleaser. So
Mm,
yeah, so that's what's been going on, I think. I think it's really got to do with this safety in the old school, which is a Sheena and that. And it's like, safety in what? Sheena's had never had any loyalty. Like, a
no.
truth slayer is where you want to be. That's
Abs-
true safety, because guess what? It's consistent, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. I didn't look at it from that way, to be honest. But
Mm,
yeah, but you want, see, I say you'd want Kristen on your side. Kristen goes in, you know, she protects, she
Truth
is loyal.
she's
Yeah.
also means that if she's got any dirt on you, it will come out as well. Like, I don't know if she's the best bone holder. Like, I think, I think she spills the tea. And yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of secrets that I've kind of heard that I'm surprised didn't come out sooner, but I'll give you one examples, right? So it turns out that Jax gave Stacy herpes, and this is a bit dark, but Kristen, in one of her points when her and Stacy, this is a long time ago, weren't getting along, she said on camera, and that's why people know, she's like, oh, it's just because he didn't give me herpes, you pissed off, like that. And which just goes to show, like, that's a really dark thing to put out there. They were friends once, and that's the problem with Kristen as well. Like, she
Mm,
has no filter. Like, but it's not like she's just gonna lie. It's just that if there were any secrets and stuff that really shouldn't be spoken about, like the Michelle and having a boyfriend for a year or something like that wasn't right. So yeah, so with Kristen, there's no doubt. But at the end of the day, I'd prefer somebody that's consistent with their honesty. Dishonesty is something for me personally. I don't want. So, and you can see with Janet, she's a dishonest person. Like, she's somebody that's gonna, yeah, create a narrative like Danny's got a drug problem.
yeah, and you know what? Both Brittany and Sheena, like you said, they're people pleasers, right? They're just gonna
Mm,
go, and Janet loves that. So
yeah,
that's why they're kind of just little puppy dogs that will go after what Janet wants.
yeah.
And Janet knows how to rein people like that in my opinion.
I've got to say, it's probably not bad for her to be a villain so soon on for the longevity. You know what I mean? At least she's somebody. She's doing, at least she's a villain. But again, it's the fact that I feel like it's a little produced in terms of there's no real substance there. There was no real substance to take down Danny and that. And then, I mean, this whole thing of that hit with her trying to talk about Jax and that rehab conversation. It's like that hit. Like, again, you just know that there's nothing really there. What else have I got here?
Yeah. I don't know. Their self-righteousness gets me. Go on. What's
Yeah,
next?
no, you called it. It was really good. Really good. But yeah, I agree with Zach and Brittany. I feel for him as well. I think he's such a superstar. I love when he's like, the word of the week, America, hyperbole. Look it up. And I think that's because he doesn't really know what it means. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he could actually say, how sometimes you know words, and so you can use them in a sentence. But if somebody said, well, what exactly is the meaning of that? It's more an intuitive way you use the word. And I think hyperbole, which, I know is a mathematical term, but the way he was using it in that sentence, I understood what it meant, but I wasn't sure if it was like a perfect fit. I wouldn't mind finding that out. But I thought, again, superstar, he's hilarious. I love him.
He is too funny. Like to be honest, I've never heard that bloody word before. Hyperbole, exaggerated statements or claims meant not meant to be taken literally. That's
Oh,
funny.
okay. So he was 100% correct then. I stand corrected. Zach's the superstar and he knows what he's talking about. Yeah,
What context did he
hyperbole.
use the word in? I don't even remember what he said. Do you remember or no?
What he was saying, right, is because these people, so when Brittany is taking, like, when, like, I do this when I'm ranting, I go on a rant and it's kind of fun. It's a fun way to express yourself, and then you're like, you know what, those people should just like fall in a ditch and die. Like, that would
Yeah,
be a
right.
hyperbole. Like, you're not, and everybody knows, oh, she's just pissed off and she's using it as an exaggeration or whatever. And that's what they're saying with Zach. With Zach, he's been ranting about people and it's part of his theatrical fun of his expression, right? And so then people like Janet are using one particular statement and then saying, oh my God, I was going to lose my baby or whatever it is. And Brittany's got sucked into this now. So Brittany is now starting to pick on when Zach is just being Zach and ranting. It's like, what, you want him to stop being himself? Like, that's
Right.
who he is. Like, let Zach be Zach. He's hilarious. You've known him most of your life, Brittany. And what, all of a sudden now that's offensive? And again, it's another one of those LA boxes where when it suits you, you can suddenly be offended by something. And I feel like Brittany started going down that path because, again, she's becoming a
Ja-
puppet. of
Oh my
Janet's.
goodness. Yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. It's like, yeah, you
Mm.
know what? When it comes to being offended and all this sort of stuff and what people say, um, at the end of the day, you have to go back to intention. Like, if you know who that person is, are they being malicious or are they not? And she's known Zach for a very long time, so she should know the intention behind that. Even if his words got mixed up or even if he exaggerated for whatever reason, it's he's not a malicious person. So yeah, they're so sensitive in LA.
Hyperbole, people, look it up. You know, but like what a great response and how he managed it. And I'm so with Zach now. It's just like he's fun. He's fun, and I love that Kristen and Zach are mates. And I love that we are behind those guys. Like it's really clear. They're the fun people, they're the honest people, they're the like keep it moving people. They're not creating or producing their own drama. And Brittany, you're an idiot. Like you're just an idiot. So
Oh my goodness. Okay, is it time to talk about Jasmine yet? She was the
oh yeah,
highlight of the episode.
without a doubt. And yeah, there may be a bit of a mea culpa on my end for really, slagging on Jasmine last episode, but yeah, she's I love her now. I'm totally in love with Jasmine. Yeah.
She's come around. Like I felt like, yeah, I mean, to be fair, it did feel like she was, being a little bit sensitive in the first couple of episodes, but now she's found her voice. And I love that she's standing up to Janet and she's, she's putting them in their place. And how cringeworthy was it when Jason wanted to speak to Jasmine? Okay, fair enough. But then Janet is such a little puppy dog and has to be right there, can't even have one
So
second.
bad.
And I understand why Jasmine got annoyed. Jasmine's getting annoyed because this one is chirping from the side and she's like, let me have a conversation with Jason. But she just wouldn't have it. Janet would not have it. It's like she just has to chime in there. She just has to be on his like right
Ugh.
shoulder. And then Jasmine looks like she's, the crazy one that's yelling, but it's like, no, you are poking the bear. Let her have a conversation with this guy. Let your husband talk to her for 1 second. This is about, Jason. Anyway.
Yeah, it was. I loved it. I love that she blew up. I don't think she intended to, right? But I think she was just like, hang on a minute, we closed this down. This was a non-issue, and now it's suddenly been created into an issue. Let me go and talk to Jason, my other only black friend in this group. That
Mm.
obviously we have our own bond. Like, go away, bloody Karen, on the side here. Let me just talk to my true friend about something I thought was put to rest. And yeah, and so you could just see that's all she wanted to do. And the fact that she wasn't like given that grace, that she wasn't given that moment to just talk to her friend about, hang on a minute, I thought this was put to rest. Why is this being brought up again, type of thing? This seems nonsense. And then she blew a lid. But she never planned to do that. So by Janet being Janet, she has now created like a much longer term enemy. I think Jasmine wasn't really looking for the drama, so she would have just sort of dealt with it without it being that big a deal, kept her feelings to herself, but not anymore. Now she's clearly with Zach and Kristen. So it's nice to see that Zach and Kristen have a bit more support out there.
I agree. And like it could have played out so nicely. She would have just said to Jason, you know what? It wasn't my intention. It came up. This was years ago. I never believed it. That's what she was trying to say. But then Janet's like, well, when did you hear it? Who told you? What is it? Like jumping down her throat. And it's just
Yeah.
like they have a friendship. Let these two friends hash it out. Like, anyway, and then I felt sorry for Jason because then Jason's get caught in crossfire and he can't see that. He can't be like, hold on a minute, Janet, can I just talk to Jasmine for a second? He needs to be able to see that as well. That's where like people like that annoy me. It's like, come on, use your voice a little bit. You don't have to be joint at the hip. And then
Well,
he was all flustered after
he
that
was a
and
little
couldn't see.
bitch. This is what I mean. If you've got this strong woman and you yourself aren't a strong man, then you end up just becoming coming across as a little bitch. Like that's literally what's happened there. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. Like it's spot on, to be honest. But Anyway, I like seeing that side of Janet, and I love that she called Janet a Karen. I just thought it was so funny.
Spot on. Spot
It's
on.
it's so spot on, and there's nothing more offensive.
There's nothing more offensive. It really isn't. It's so good.
And then they're like, "Oh my gosh, is this how Jasmine's been thinking of us this whole time? You know, she's obviously hated me for so long." It's like, "Oh my gosh, just no, get over yourself." Like this is the other
Yeah.
thing. Jasmine was obviously annoyed, which is why she's just gone in and just said whatever. She's upset. She's just throwing things out there. But they just take it like it's Bible or whatever and run with
This
it.
is what I love about them now is they are not going to, and we talked about before what makes a great reality star that we love. Like there's some that we hate and there's some that we love. The ones that we love let things go and then keep on moving, right? They
True.
can't let things go. Like you can see it really bugs them. Like anybody, anything, it bugs them and they need to be right. And so that's going to be fun to see how that unfolds. Because they're just not going to let it go.
Do you think that's because it's actually the newer Valley cast members that do that? So it's like a new reality thing, right? These guys are new on reality. They don't understand the concept of moving forward. Because Jasmine did it. She kept it going for multiple episodes. Now Jasset
Right.
are doing it. They don't understand
Yeah.
how reality TV works. It's like, we got to keep it moving, people. They're not seasoned.
Yeah, that's right. That's actually very true. I hadn't thought of it like that. And I think as well, like if you've had that, if you get to see things play back, you'll realize like holding on to something. This is the beauty of like, I suppose if you are a reality TV star and then your personal growth, if you hold on to something, it just drags you down. Like it teaches you how to let things go and keep it moving. And us as viewers, if we really want to learn as we're watching, then yeah, just let things go. Like don't harp on stuff. Nobody cares. People have moved on, you know?
Yeah, keep it moving. Keep it moving. I agree with
So
you. How
good.
funny. So
Yeah.
good. Jasmine's one. It's going to be interesting by the end of it what your opinion on Jasmine is. I still won't forget the first episode of the pod. You were like, Jasmine's
So
got to
good.
go. Jasmine's got to. You almost kicked her off episode 1.
I love it. I love it. Remember how I said through that podcast, and I want to pay homage to them because they did the first, that famous American where you got all the presidents' heads on there,
Yeah.
Rushmore?
Yeah.
They did a thing of going, who's your best, like, reality Rushmore stars? Anyway,
Oh,
I can't remember the name of them because they're not podcasting anymore. But the two of them were so fun. Like, they had a similar dynamic. But there was one chick in that podcast, I think her name was Justine, Justine, and she just flips, like, episode to episode. Like, one minute she loves people, and the next she hated them. I'm going to go and look up that podcast again and quote them and give them homage because I love that podcast. But yeah, I think I'm a little bit like that. Like, depending on how I'm feeling, quite passionate. But yeah, it can change. It can be a 360 flip, really. No
it depends
problem.
on the episode. Is it Escape to Reality, that one? I remember you used to love that one.
Escape to reality. That's
Yeah.
it. I loved that podcast. I really miss those guys. And they were the originals. They've been doing it for a long time. And they've just, I don't know. I know they each had, between them, they had 5 kids. I think just life got busy. Um,
Right.
yes, Escape to reality. Awesome podcast. Very
Oh,
real.
fun.
No nonsense.
Um, no nonsense. What else happened? Did anything happen with Danny and Nia this episode? I'm trying to think.
No, it was annoying. They went in for a massage together. It was super annoying. That was like a nothing burger. Like there was nothing there. I hate those kind of things where it's just like,
Yeah, it was a bit cringe. They wanted
And
to have
with
it. Yeah.
Jessie as well, there wasn't much going on with Jessie either this episode. So
And Michelle. Yeah, okay.
yeah.
It was just more around the
So the
Jasset.
focus really was Jasset, some Zach, a little bit of Zach there, Brittany and Jax, with the star of the show, clearly Jasmine. Jasmine, as far as I'm concerned, you've earned it. You are, you're Valley Gold. So Great. Great to have you on
She's
board.
she's earned her spot. Love it. All right. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap it up, unless we've forgotten. Go
I
on.
want to close out with one last thing. So
Okay, yes.
Denise Richards, her show was doing better than The Valley. And the reason why I want to mention that is, again, I think people don't want to tune into something that's too dark. And like Denise Richards was just such a light-hearted, fun show. And yeah, just commentary there on the fact that, it's with people like Jax and Janet, like it's just, it's not really that fun. Keep it
It's
fun,
not.
keep it light-hearted. So yeah, just
Yeah, I
adding that.
agree. No, actually loved that season of with Denise Richards and her wild things or
Oh,
whatever.
her wild
Oh, what a
things.
good.
How good. It was so, see what I mean about lighthearted? Like we just talked about it and we both lit up because it was just so much joy and fun, and then you still had the quirkiness in there, like so quirky. Oh, I loved
I
it.
love
It was
and I
such a great
love that about
season.
I love that about Denise. And this is why I think she actually didn't suit Beverly Hills that much because it got too bogged down, in the drama of it all and who said what
Yeah.
and all that sort of stuff. And she left. Whereas she can be her authentic self. She is such a quirky girl. Like, she's an icon. She has all of those elements, but she's so freaking funny. She's actually hilarious. I loved it. I love the series.
And it's the collective. It's her and her collective, and this is the thing. So it was so fun to watch her with her children and yeah, obviously Charlie Sheen and a few other like cameo appearances was just fantastic. I love a hubby as well. But yeah, anyway, just noting that with reality TV, a lot of us kind of want to like escape a little bit, and just have something else to focus on. And drama's great. There's obviously no doubt about that. But you can see that people actually prefer that light-hearted fun, that quirkiness and light-hearted stuff over the valley. I mean, here we have some really good drama, but yeah, people have voted, and we like light-hearted, kind people to watch, if possible. But All right, Nishi, I'm going to stop this and yeah, we'll head off to the next episode.